And usually when we get that word, a lot of us are like, nope, that's not our word. Nope, I'm going to pray about that some more. And God usually says, nope, that's the word I'm giving you, whether you like it or not. And a lot of times you have a preconceived idea of what that word will be like during that year. And, oh yeah, God's going to have me study the Bible more and stuff like that. And a lot of times you're right, but he'll go at it in a different way. But last year, I had no idea the journey that God was going to embark me on. As many of you know, I had some major health issues last year that continued this year, with a lot of medical procedures, surgery, and so on. God had and continues to speak to me every step of the way. Many times I didn't necessarily like the next step or the direction that he was telling me to take. But I obeyed and I trusted him, even though sometimes I thought it was futile what he was telling me to do. God frequently showed me why, with helpful medical information I received, new medication, a referral, or something discovered in a test that had been missed the time before that was actually very critical and important. Even going to ER at UC Irvine, which I did not want to do, and which ended up being a nightmare 5-day experience, God actually brought a lot of good out of that experience, information that I needed. By making a call one time that seemed futile after so many other calls, I was able to see a surgeon in 2 weeks instead of waiting for 4 months. However, this is all obedience and trusting God. Obedience had been a word God had given me 2 years in a row because 1 year wasn't enough. So what's the difference between biblical obedience and surrender? Obedience is following God's commands. Surrender is the act of giving one's own will and plans to follow God's will. It is a step of obedience and trust that involves humility and acknowledging that God is the source of strength and wisdom. This is still a process for me. I had to learn to not just be obedient and trust God, things God had already been teaching me prior years, but to let go of my plans and will and pray to God for his wisdom and strength. When things were very difficult, I had to learn to lean on God, to pray. And through that, I was able to get peace and strength, and the next step was not as challenging. I have to admit, there were times when I cried out, I am done, God, I don't want to do this anymore. But in that came peace and strength. I've come to a point of acceptance that this is the plan that God had for me. And I'm not alone. God's brought many people around me to help me, to strengthen me. And surrender is actually an amazing place to be. Many of you know I am a control freak. I am a type A person. And when God gives you a word, that word is always with you. So the prior words that I've had, obedience, trust, patience, have played into where I am today and into surrender. And as you notice, the definition of surrender also included obedience and trust. So if you've never done one word, I would highly recommend it. It's never too late to have one word. And it's quite a journey, and God will work in your life in an amazing way. So thank you.